Welcome back to the Garth Riley Show. We're talking about incentive travel, why you should consider doing it, and actually why you'd want to actually hire a company to do it for you, because the results are markedly different. And I've been on ones where it's been run by the person out of the office versus the one where it's been run by people that have specialized in the industry. And I can tell you, I've seen the difference. It's quite something. Karen and Peter join us here from Crone Travel. It is a huge difference. I've seen it.
Well, I mean, first of all, our job is to make them look good. So whether we're working with the president of the company, whether we're working with an administrative assistant, a marketing manager, whatever, our job is to make them look like they've done the best job possible. So you actually shouldn't really see what we're doing in the background.
As an attendee.
Yeah, that's right. Or,
right.
or even so much as the person that's running it, it should be a seamless thing that they get all the credit more so than us, but they'll know in the end who's been working on it for them.
But being on site is a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Huge.
It makes all the difference.
Were you surprised, first of all, that
yes,
it was necessary?
Sure. The first few times that we did it, we thought, well, this will be a pretty good gig. We go down, we've planned the trip for them, and everything's in order, and we just got to go and check on things when we're down there. Well, holy cow! You're running around all day long because you're trying to be a step ahead of everybody. So, an hour before the dinner reservations, you're in the restaurant trying to find somebody. If it's not open yet, you're like, well, I've got to find somebody. Got to make sure this. This group's coming. Like, even though it's okay, it's like trust no one. Just trust no one.
Yeah.
We will trust no one.
Yeah, I mean, the best example, as we said before, we had a group that was as small as 12 people going to the Bahamas, and I went down and escorted that group, and I basically ran from one end of the Atlantis to the other about 12 times a day with my little clipboard running back and forth, and I would see, somebody at the pool or whatever, and they're like, oh, Karen, come on, don't you have any fun? Like, just come and join us. And no, it's okay, I'm all right, don't worry about me. So I'd go and do my thing, but that was probably the best example of all the things that you still have to do, regardless of size, whether it's 12 people or 1,200 people, you're still doing the same job.
The thing about it, from a participant's point of view, I mean, when you get somewhere and there's no hesitation, you want to get into the dining hall. The dining hall is open. There's something about that. I've been on trips where you get there and everybody's standing around, and somebody, even though it was on the manifest, they didn't do it.
See, it starts right from checking into the hotel, or it even starts before that, from when you get off the plane. You're not herded with the group onto the buses, onto the 5 different buses that are going here. You're going on your own. It doesn't matter what the size is. You're 12 people, you're 30 people. Here's your private bus with your name on it. And then when you get to the hotel, it's, no, you're not going to that check-in line where everyone else goes. You're going to the private one, and your keys are all ready. Here's your key. You can just go to your room, go to the pool now. Like,
but I want to sort of
easy.
I mean, which is great about it. So I'm going to come back and sort of play that other side of it, where people say, well, we know what it's supposed to look like if we've ever been on a well-organized trip. So as an owner, as a manager or director or, a head of a department, I go, yeah, I know what it should look like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's not that simple. You can plan all you want ahead of time, but actually getting it to happen when it comes down to it, it's a lot of working with the people on site. Because, even if they've got it in that manifest or whatever, there are so many things that can go wrong. And that's what we're there ahead of time. We're always a step ahead of everybody so that we make sure everything's all right and set up and smooth beforehand. And then we step back, let them arrive, and see everything run the way it should.
If I was a department head, I run my own company here now, so I guess I would say this, is I want to go there and I want to participate. I don't want to worry about the details. I don't want to worry about, I want to be with the people that I've brought on the trip, that
so you should.
To be a trip.
Yeah.
And I want to be networking and hanging out with their family, if that's the case, to build that relationship. But so many owners, I've been on events over the years where they're running around, doing all the event planning, and they are not part of the conference.
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah, I got a great story. We had a client that went on a trip every year to the same hotel in Bahamas, and they had just called up the company travel agency to do the trip, and happened to run into one of the vice presidents, who was an old high school friend of mine, and he asked me, you know, you're in this travel business. Can you do an incentive trip, because we're just not happy with the way it works out. We always run into the same problems. And one of the problems was they golf every year. They golf at the golf course and they prepay the golf. And he says every single year for 5 years, I get to the golf course and they say, oh, it's not prepaid. So he said, you know what? I can't deal. I just about killed somebody the last time after the 5th year in a row. So no problem. We'll look after that. We'll make sure it's prepaid, but we will go there. It was actually me in this particular. So I went there. Golf. I went there, and I had yeah. No, I didn't get to play. Okay. The vice president of the company and the top guys were there, and I said, "Okay, you guys just go set yourself on the first tee. I'll go in and take care of everything." I walk in. He was right. They don't know what they're doing there. It's not prepaid, but the thing is, he didn't need to know that. He was just out there on the putting green getting ready, and I was in there arguing with him, saying, what do you mean? Here it is, pulling out papers and whatnot. And after, you know, a few anxious moments, walk out again. It's all fine.
Right.
Yeah. Here's your
That's
cards.
why you need to be there.
Did he kind of look at you and went?
He was an old friend, so he probably knew. But
right.
Yeah,
exactly. But it's true. I mean, I actually, just to share, because I come from the event industry. In fact, tomorrow I'm departing for an event that I've done for 9 years with a client of mine. And I know this venue, and there's always a problem there. No matter what, there's pre-conference. Everybody says they're going to do it. We have a pre-conference, and I know that hotel so well. I know where the extension cords are. I know where the ladders are. I know how to get stuff out of shipping and receiving, because I've been at that event and been at that venue. And what you're saying is that you go and do a pre-check sometimes.
Yes. And
then you actually scope. You're like CSI, right?
Yeah, I go around with my little magnifying glass and look at the corners and see what I can find out.
But really, you go there for what reason? You actually sometimes are part of your package is to go ahead of time to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Whenever we're going on site, we always go in a day ahead of time, at least from the group, so that we set everything up ahead of time, and then we, you know, meet the group when they arrive and transfer with them to the hotel, get them through check-in, and take care of all that. In addition to that, what we do is if we're looking at different venues for people, we'll do site inspections beforehand and eliminate, you know, the properties that won't fit what they're looking for, and go to them and present them with the ones that we know will work for their meeting or event.
This is really important. Let me say, I've seen this so many times where, you know, you buy the brochure, but you get there and you're like, that was it's kind of like pictures, you know.
Well, you never know what to expect, and not all hotels are created equal. I mean, there are some great sort of convention type hotels that really know their stuff, but there are other hotels that just they accept groups and they deal with groups, but they just don't quite get it or know how to do it.
But they have good pictures.
And they do. Yeah. So one example I'm thinking of is the time we had a group in Mexico, and so we go down the day ahead and asked to meet the group's coordinator. And while we don't really have one, we'd been told they have one, but no, they don't. We don't really have one, but you can deal with so and so. And then I find out this person is actually the wedding coordinator. I think, well, okay, you know, whatever, but at least I have somebody I can talk to, and that was great until we sat down and found out she only spoke Spanish. Now, could you imagine if the client had gone down there, no warning, nothing, and it would have been a disaster. And I had to get everybody in that hotel, and the hotel turned out to be great because they saw the problem, and every employee in that hotel, they'd see me sitting down with her, and one of them would come over and say, let me help translate, let me do that. And so we got it all worked out the day before, and everything ran smoothly. So.
We're going to come back from break, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what happens when people miss their flights and and half the group isn't able to get there. What miracles you guys pull off. Apparently they can teleport people. Anyways, we'll be back more with Crone Travel right after this.